Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Staffing Evolution Podcast. For those of you joining us for the first time, my name is Michael. I'm the owner and CEO of Omega Digital Services. We specialize in helping staffing and recruiting firms grow their business and scale their revenue using the latest in AI technology. On this podcast, we dive into the business of staffing and recruiting and learn about cutting-edge strategies that successful staffing and recruiting firms are using to grow their business today. So if you want to learn about how to take your staffing and recruiting firm to the next level, stick around. And if you're interested in a free growth consultation, drop the word growth in the comments or DMs and hit me up on LinkedIn. My guest today is the handsome and talented Jared Black, owner and CEO of the Nuvine Employment Group out of Miami, Florida. Jared, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Mike.
Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey as a business owner?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jared Black, of course. I'm the founder and president of Nuvine Employment Group. Nuvine Employment Group is a boutique staffing and recruitment firm, like you said, out of Miami, Florida. We specialize in working with growth-focused organizations who are having trouble in their talent acquisition process or maybe underserved in their talent acquisition teams. We combine a AI-powered customized product on the back end, combine that with our human expertise in recruitment to offer our clients the best of efficiency, accuracy, and price.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you say that's your core offering? Is that AI workflow?
It's what we call our product for customers. So we have, I would say our core offering is our direct placement recruitment services, or our staffing vertical. It really depends on what your business function is. Those are the two core offers. But how most companies are typically built, they're not built for consistently using direct placement recruitment services long term. So that's where we move them into the AI piece, where they can drastically reduce their spend in fees, but consistently get the back end firepower of a recruiter.
Nice. So you have kind of an off ramp for your clients out of that very high touch service onto something that they can more manage themselves.
Exactly.
But you're still helping them out and getting some revenue out of it.
Exactly. Yes.
That's a smart
Our
strategy.
goal is we want to use our expertise to help our client continue to grow. And if we're doing our job successfully, they're going to reach that new level of growth, but it will open up new opportunities for them in different ways. Maybe they don't need such a high level placement, but maybe they need continuous mid-level or lower level placements over a period of time.
And tell me more about that AI service. Like, how does it work? What are the pieces?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does it bring to the client?
So I'll start off by saying what it's not. It's not a I don't hand you the keys and logins to a SaaS product. You're not going to just get a signature and a login screen, and you're not going to just play around on your own. We do the opposite of that. We build a custom solution for every client. So whatever the requirements are, whether it's one role or 50 roles, we build on the back end using our systems, and we design essentially a series of different prompts, AI algorithms combined with some pre-existing tools like Airtable and Slack and things like this. And we combine them into our process so that we can give our client full visibility and transparency into the search process from the start of the process all the way through evaluation, all the way to handoff. So it starts with understanding what the client's needs are first. Then we build the systems, we build the prompts, which goes out, does all the identifying of the candidate. So it identifies the total market. It'll then do their deep dive and research into each candidate. It'll then sort, rank, and grade the candidates, and then automatically start the engagement. Now, once we get to engagement process, that's where my team steps in. And now they're talking to a real human being and they're engaging with a real expert recruiter, in which case, if they get approved through that person, they get handoff directly to our client. So it's like, I like to look at it as direct placement recruitment service, traditional recruitment. We own 100% of the responsibility of that task, let's call it. Through the AI partnership model, we own about 80% of the responsibility of that task. They take the last mile.
Okay. And how does that affect the cost of the customer?
It reduces cost about 80%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But only adds 20% of their work.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's a very compelling offer.
Yeah.
And what kind of results are your clients seeing with that?
Well, for first, they're finding candidates way faster than they could on their own. Two, they're still getting to partner with us as an expert recruiter and a trusted partner. So they already enjoy the relationship when they first engage with us. And this is a way for them to continue with that relationship in a way that's more affordable long term.
Uh-huh.
Three, they're able to scale because we've worked with clients who just need maybe 3 or 5 candidates per quarter. And we've seen candidates scale to 10 plus per quarter. It just depends on the role or what their business is doing. It also gives them the flexibility to kind of stop and start whenever they need to. If things go a little
Right.
bit slower and they need to scale down, they can slow down or scale down however they need to. So it's gone very well. We launched this in the beginning of 2025, this year, obviously. It's gone very well for our clients who we piloted it with, and then so far have we gone full mainstream. It's done very well as well.
Hmm. And do you specialize in a particular industry as far as recruiting, or are you covering everything that comes from the door?
Yeah. So I don't like to say we don't want to work with particular clients, but there are companies that we just don't bring that knowledge base to.
Uh-huh.
So it's healthcare, um, education or higher education, the legal background, and I would say any type of uh, large commercial engineering. We don't bring that background, but we do bring a specialization and a understanding how most small to medium sized enterprises operate. So any type of commercial business, whether it's software, whether it's e-com, logistics, light industrial, um, you know, anything and everything in that sphere, anything related to a typical commercial small medium enterprise business,
Hmm.
we
But
can
not in the
understand
technical
their pain points
areas.
and bring them value.
Yeah, but not in the more technical fields like medical or engineering.
I just believe that there are people who have been doing that and have been doing it and are doing it in a more meaningful way with a
Sure.
more extensive knowledge base than I bring. I can't
Yeah.
help a clinical healthcare practitioner because I don't have that knowledge base. But there
Hmm.
are people who specialize in that field that I would recommend that they work with.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and how has your client acquisition strategy grown and evolved over time for your
Yeah,
business?
great question. I think client acquisition, it changes with it changes all the time, but it changes based on what the temperament is of the client. So this obviously goes back to simple economic supply and demand. If you think back just a few years ago during COVID, there was a very short supply in the US of ready and available workers. So everyone was going crazy, reaching out to agencies and recruiters, trying to leverage them to help find talent. Such as that changes back the other way very often. So it just swings back and forth and it's a pendulum. And so what we do consistently, no matter what the supply and demand channels look like, we always try to provide value. So my aim is to provide as much free value up front. And the more value I can give to you for free, the more that I'm potentially encouraging my prospects to know, like, and trust me. And if they know, like, and trust me, they'd be more encouraged to work with me down the line when an opportunity does arrive. So for me, it's just about bring as much value up front and continue to serve my audience in the best way possible.
Uh-huh.
So that means getting client testimonials. That means getting Google reviews. That means getting winning feedback from candidates that have been placed. That means completely and confidently improving and reiterating the process to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, get the best results for our clients so that our clients become our best advocates for us.
Mm. And you mentioned the free value. You like to provide as much free value before they
Yes.
even become a client. What are some of those strategies?
Yeah, so I post every day on LinkedIn, frameworks, methodologies, ideas, processes. I also have a YouTube channel that's dedicated to business leaders, entrepreneurs, executives, founders who are learning or wanting to learn how to attract, find, and hire A-player talent. So anyone can go to my YouTube channel or my LinkedIn page and get any free content. The same principles and practices I use in my business, I share those on those channels
Mm.
directly. I also have email newsletters that we share with our clients and past prospects for anything that we're doing, whether it's ideas, strategies, feedback, insights, anything that's relevant to them and their hiring process. We share results.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. You're covering kind of creating awareness and also creating valuable content
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
bring in the customers. And do you also do advertising?
I used to. I'm not. I feel like ads are not valuable if the person doesn't know you. And if you have a product or service where your ads are targeting people who are not in a buying state of mind, in a buying state of mind, your ads are worthless. They're not going to land. We were driving, my family and I, we were driving home the other day, and my wife got a message on her radio as she's driving, right on her phone. And it was like, are you a dog owner who's looking for organic food and are sick of meal prepping and buying food that's not healthy for your dog? And then, like, the ad literally spoke to her because that's exactly what she's been going through. She's been going through that challenge. So that's a great example of a great targeted ad.
Right.
She's been in that buyer frame of mind for weeks, looking for the right ingredients for the right food. Same for us. Like, for us, we need to use signals, and those signals need to be relevant to our prospect, and they need to be ready to buy, meaning they have to have experienced so much pain in their hiring process that they have tried everything else, or they're willing to try working with a recruiter for the first time. Now, the second part of that sale is now telling them you're the recruiter to work with, right? Because there's a lot of other options out there. So for me, I don't believe in targeted ads anymore. I think at least you need to get to a certain level of notoriety, and then ads will just add fuel to the fire.
Right.
But at this stage, I think we are more boutique. We're very consultative, so we get very ingrained with our clients. We take a very hands-on approach. So with that, I just like to let the results speak, and then I'll share the value. And by sharing the value, letting the results do the work, I'm gaining trust at a slower rate, but I'm gaining more trust. It's
Uh,
stickier.
right. Yeah, you're optimizing for trust rather than breadth of touch points.
I think you have to choose. Are you trying to win customers on price, or are you trying to win customers on relationships?
Right.
And you can't do both because relationships are expensive. You have to cultivate those relationships, you have to spend a lot of time and develop assets that make people trust you. And
Uh-huh.
so once you have the trust, you have a customer essentially for life, as long as you don't break that trust. But it just takes longer. But that's the route that we have decided to go.
Yeah. And you mentioned you post on LinkedIn every day. Then
Yeah.
you write it yourself every day, or you have what's your process there?
Yeah. So essentially, I kind of have a game plan for every month on how I want to tackle LinkedIn. It's not random words. It's not, AI content. It's my literal thoughts. And I try to organize it as cleanly, as nicely as I can, and then put that in a nice, digestive, short post that somebody wouldn't mind reading for 60 seconds, 30 seconds. I also try to pair that up with a video because, some people just don't like to read. I also like to think that video is a little bit more engaging. So the more times you may see my voice, see my face, hear my voice, read my words, um, leads all
Comes
to
through.
the same equation, right?
Yeah.
No, like, and trust. That's it.
Yeah. How do you decide how to allocate your time in terms of time marketing versus time one-on-one with clients versus time meeting with new clients?
I've tried so many different strategies. I've read so many different books on time management and time blocking and all this. What I have figured out works best for me is, one, I need to start my day very strong, meaning I can't let myself down. So what that looks like for me is I get an early morning workout. My workout for me is like, I don't know, just a shot in the arm to get like just ahead of the day. So I get an early morning workout in. From there, the first part of the day is dedicated towards content creation, whether it's posting, whether it's writing, recording, anything related to my content process, research, anything like that. So I block my day into thirds. First third
Right.
is content creation. Second third is meetings. And then the last part is basically team follow-up. So one-on-ones, maybe team meetings, anything related to just follow back with the team.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a nice, simple strategy, but allows you to cover all the important points. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense. Um, and you mentioned also your staffing and recruiting. Tell me more about the
correct.
staffing side.
So we started 10 years ago as a pure play staffing company. We started just temp staffing, regular temp staffing in the light industrial space. I did not come from staffing or recruiting background formally. I came from the light industrial industry. And what I was experiencing as a customer using staffing companies was just, I was getting terrible treatment, terrible quality. Nobody was treating me like a professional. the candidates that they were sending me were not prepared. They were not experienced. My environment, we were working in 36-degree coolers,
Mm,
and people would show up in shorts and flip flops, just totally unprepared. No idea on how they were going to do the work. They would show up with a sticky note, and it just said my name on the sticky note, and they would just hand me the sticky note.
right.
So after years of doing that, even talking to my peers, talking to my colleagues, I'm like, who are you using? What options do you have? Everyone's experiencing the same thing. That was kind of like my aha moment that there's a real market for this. I think and I said, if I can just do the opposite of what these guys are doing, I think we'll be successful. So that was my North Star. I went to market
Nice.
like that, started calling all my colleagues and past coworkers and said, hey, I know your space. I know your industry. This is what I'm doing now. Give me a shot. I won't let you down. So those who gave me the opportunity, I did not let them down. We grew very fast. We had a lot of success early on. The first 18 months, we shot up to a few $1 million in top line revenue. And then from there, we started to we gained a lot of trust, and then we started to get other opportunities. So that's where like direct placement recruitment started to come, and there are bigger projects, project out of state and things like that. So we started to kind of learn on the fly. It was a lot of trial and error in the beginning, but we found our footing. We found our process that works. And then we reiterate it, and get better and better and better. And then probably about year 5 is when we were really, I would say, about 50-50 on both recruitment and staffing. And
Uh-huh.
we've been that way ever since.
Okay. So staffing still remains a key part of your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And have you found the AI tools have had an impact in the staffing area as well?
Um, yes and no. More so for internal support, less so for the external factors that would be obvious to recruitment. So AI, if you have the right tools, it's very powerful, but you have to know how to leverage your tools, and you need to know how to use them in a way that's efficient. Sometimes people just get caught up in the concept it's AI, and it doesn't really bring any more efficiency. So
It
for
must be
staffing
amazing. It's
purposes,
AI.
we have to look at what we're doing here. If we're doing technical staffing, then maybe yes, there's more, I would say, more relevance for AI. But our AI division, I'm sorry, our staffing division is more focused on light industrial. It's more low income workers. So those people value real relationships. They
Hmm.
want to talk to somebody on the phone. They don't want to talk over email. They don't want to talk on LinkedIn. They want to have a text message or a WhatsApp conversation. So these are conversations, and these are details about our audience that we know and we understand. So the AI efficiency we're leveraging is more on the management and the organization of the data rather than the discovery of the talent,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of the opposite of direct placement recruitment, where we leverage AI to find and identify the talent, and then we get engaged with them after.
Mm. So what's your strategy for recruitment in the staffing area?
Again, we've been at this for 10 years. We've built a very strong level of trust within the market. So people know to come to us. So we attract, one, just organically, a lot of traffic just through
Uh,
normal channels like social media. Google search is still very popular for us. Um, I would say very little traffic in job boards, but job boards, we remain active there just for that low hanging fruit. But again, it's not a big winner for us. There's a lot of, I would say it takes a lot more work to go through than it does to generate a real result. But at the end of the day, for staffing to be effective, you need to be omnipresent. You need to be everywhere, because
uh-huh.
you don't know where this person is going to come from. You don't know what communication channels they preference. We know after they discover us, they prefer to talk via phone or via text or WhatsApp.
Uh-huh.
But where they discover you is going to be the trick. And so we have to be everywhere. And so we have these little antennas everywhere that allow people to find us really easily. But once they jump onto our, let's say they find us on Google, see hundreds of 5-star reviews from past candidates, easily can identify us as 10 years agency doing this space. They go to our career site, they see our listed jobs that we've placed in the past, people who've worked with us. So it just allows them a really easy way to identify us, see that we're the right company for them, and then they engage with us.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. You're covering a wide range of areas because you don't know necessarily where people are going to come from. But that also shows the value of having built up trust in the marketplace where you guys have that reputation. So you don't
Referrals
have
are
to go
still the
out
strongest.
sending ads and doing a lot of like outreach.
Yeah, referrals are still one of the strongest ways that we attract candidates. People,
Mhm.
our candidates tell other people that they can get work with us, and more people come.
And you, for clients, getting staffing clients, do you follow the same process as you talked about for your recruiting clients?
Staffing clients is kind of it's dependent on a lot of different factors because in nature they think of this as temporary, where
Right.
we
They
view
want to get
staffing in a
away
different
from
way now.
staffing as soon as possible.
Yeah. So sometimes they just need to be in a very difficult position, maybe in a more pressing need, seasonality, time sensitivity. Maybe there's something in their business, something went wrong. It could be a number of factors. So it's not something that we can, I would say, totally predict. So what we look for in a staffing client is we look for somebody who um, just truly believes in the staffing model, right? That's the first thing. I can't convince a company to adopt staffing as a principle. It's like trying to get somebody to change their religion. They're just, if they don't believe it, they don't believe it. And that's that. And
Mhm.
that's their belief is their belief. However, if somebody is, hey, I use staffing companies regularly, I believe in staffing, then I can show why we're valuable and why they would want to work with us.
Mhm.
But it starts there. So that's I would say our North Star from a staffing perspective. We just want to target companies who already believe in working with staffing companies.
Mhm. What's your what are your goals for the business in the next, say, 1 to 3 years?
Great question. 1 to 3 years. So the next year, we'd like to increase revenue. We'd like to double revenue. We have seen early success with Vine, which is our AI model, our AI talent model that I mentioned before. We've seen early success with Vine. I'd like to double that number next year. But for me, it's actually just building more assets for trust. I would like to publish more. I would like to be more active in, social campaigns or social media, continue building the YouTube channel, potentially speak at some events that I've been invited to in the last year. Those are all things that I think are relevant for building trust. And for
Uh-huh.
me, the mission is become more trustworthy. Um, as long as your prospects know, like, and trust you, essentially the business follows.
And how do you scale that content when you're already devoting a third of your time to content creation?
Um, Probably get more efficient at content creation. So my current framework, it's very detailed. It takes a lot of time and effort. So I'd probably find ways to uh, create some efficiencies in that process so that I can pump out more content.
Make it more systematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what about in the overall industry? So obviously you guys are developing this AI assisted model that um, reduces the cost for your clients while only a little bit adding more work. Do you see that as something that lots of companies are doing, or where do you see the industry overall going?
I mean, there's a lot of conflicting ideologies here, but I tend to follow the big money, and I look at like KPMG, McKinsey. These are billion-dollar companies with a lot of resources behind them, and a lot of the reports that they're publishing recently are all pointed towards AI development. So at some point or another, companies will be implementing AI into their recruitment process. So it'll either be through a vendor, it'll either be they build their own process internally, or they'll be testing and playing with toys and little apps here and there sparingly. But they are already, I would say, AI weary. Some are AI curious. A lot are AI excited, but nobody
Mhm.
knows what to do. Everyone is
And
just
have
like
already been
buzzing about
burned.
the noise. Nobody knows what direction to go in. I
Yeah.
think there'll be some clarity eventually, and then there'll be kind of different market segments. I kind of look at it like this. When you look at something like QuickBooks, when QuickBooks first came out, accountants were not eliminated. Accountants did
Right.
not go away. You just got QuickBooks certified accountants or NetSuite certified accountants.
Uh-huh.
So they will become experts in certain areas off the certain technologies that become I would say, that rise above the rest. So I think it doesn't take away from the market. It just segments the market in a way. And
Uh-huh.
so that's where I see the industry going. It's just going to create a different market segment as it pertains to recruitment. But I think all companies will eventually start to lean into AI at some point. I think it's going to happen much sooner than most give it credit for.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, okay. Well, I just have one final question for you. It's been a
Yeah.
very interesting conversation.
You,
If any of our viewers want to find out how to get in touch with you, how can they do it?
yeah, you can check me out on LinkedIn, just Jared Black, or Nuvine Employment Group on LinkedIn, or you can search me on YouTube, also Jared Black, and email me, jared@nuvinegroup.com. Simple.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye now.